Hi everyone. I unfortunately didn't realize when I was filming this that my mic did not catch any of my audio, so you get a voiceover today. These are the pads that we made for my friend for her postpartum. I am not someone who has had to use postpartum pads for postpartum purposes, so I don't really have a frame of reference as to what one might need. But I am someone who has a fairly heavy period, and I do require longer pads with higher absorbencies. So while I wouldn't consider my period to be a period that would be on the level of postpartum bleeding, I would consider it to be on the heavier side. So going off of my own experience with my period, the input that she gave me, which is that with her last delivery, she liked to use disposable underwear type of products. And also searching on some Facebook groups, watching YouTube videos, looking at reviews of postpartum pads, and kind of gathering information from people who have insight on this. They've used postpartum pads. I kind of compiled what I thought would be the best, not just for her postpartum period, but also to build her a stash that she can use moving forward. She has told me that she wanted to try cloth pads for her period, but she wasn't really ready to commit. She didn't really have a starting point or knew kind of where to start with finding or purchasing pads. And so I thought that this was kind of a twofer deal where she can have them for her postpartum, but then also use them moving forward. Being as she needed these relatively quickly, my husband offered to sew them for her on the sewing machine. I only hand sew, and they would not be ready anytime soon if I were to do this myself by hand. So I did the planning, the cutting, the turning them out. I compiled what fabrics that I wanted to use, and I got everything together in terms of that. And he did all of the sewing on the sewing machine. Aside from maybe one or two pads that he made for my personal stash, these are more or less the first pads that he's ever made on a sewing machine. He had a bit of a learning curve because these are more or less the first pads that he ever sewed, and he is more used to like quilting or sewing baby items or making blankets, things like that. So it was a little bit of a learning curve, and I think that he did really well for the fact that sewing cloth pads are difficult to begin with, and I cannot imagine how hard it is to sew them on a machine. I have so much respect for people that make and sell cloth pads, whether it's large quantities or just a couple. This was a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be, and a lot more time consuming than I thought it was going to be. So to kind of jump right in, I am going to be sending her a bar of Fell's Naphtha. If you have watched any of Amy Nix's videos, she likes this stain treating product a lot. I am personally allergic to it, but it is something that I use on my family members' clothes, and I absolutely love it as a stain treater. I did use it on my cloth pads before I realized that I was allergic to it, and I liked it a lot for treating stains on cloth pads, so I thought that I would get her started with this as a stain treater. We're going to start out with the lighter pads that we made. I don't know that she's going to be needing a lot of light absorbency pads, but I wanted her to have them on hand either for if she did need them or later on when she's using them for her period. This is a fig leaves type of shape. It is a cotton top and a fleece back. This next pad is a wrap wing kind of pattern. I do not have a link for this one, but it is relatively easy to find a similarly shaped pattern, or at least it was when I first started making cloth pads. It is a cotton top and a fleece back. Our next pad is the Versatile Mega Pad pattern. And any patterns to any pads that are available I'll have linked below. This one is a cotton top and a fleece back. And our last light pad is going to be the Dreamline Designs Monstrous pattern. I used to use this pattern as my overnights because it is nice and long in the back. It's very comfortable to wear. I need longer night pads now, but this is still wonderful for my daytime use. It has a flannel top and a fleece back. Starting off with our moderates, we have two of the fig leaves type of shape. I absolutely love this print. I think it's so cute. It is a cotton top and a fleece back. And then our other pad is this map type of print, and it is a cotton top and a fleece back as well. The next pad that we have is a Dreamline Design teardrop pattern. It is a flannel top and a PUL back. And then the next three pads are the Kaituna Creations wrap wing pattern. It is nice and trim. It is not very wide when it's snapped. I really liked this when I was able to use shorter pads, but I need longer pads now, so I hope that she will like them as much as I did. Our top one is a flannel top and a fleece back. The second one is a cotton top with a fleece back. And then the third mushroom print is a flannel top and a fleece back. The next two pads that I'm showing you are Amy Nick's patterns. They are available in her Facebook group in the files section, and I will have that linked down below for you. They are the same pattern. I just believe that the shorter one is 10 inches and the longer one I think is maybe 13 inches. Both of these are a cotton top with a PUL back. However, the longer one, I accidentally put the PUL inside out. I am still going to send it to her because it could still be an effective pad. It just may slip around a little more than she likes. She could wear tighter underwear if she needed, but if it ends up that she doesn't like it or it doesn't work, that's okay. She can dispose of it if she sees fit. So the next pad that we have is the Versatile Mega Pad pattern in that map print again. It is a cotton top and a fleece back. And then we have two Versatile Contour patterns. The top bug print is a cotton top and a fleece back. And the second is a flannel top and a fleece back. The next pad is the Happy Hippos Embrace pattern. I love this pattern. It's so cute and round. The wings are round. Everything's round. It's cute. It has a flannel top and a fleece back. Our next pad is a Versatile Contour Wide. This one is 20 inches long. It is a cotton top and a fleece back as well. We are now moving into our heavy pads. We're going to start with another of the fig leaves pad type of shape. This one is a flannel top and a fleece back. Our next couple are the wrap wing style again. The top is a cotton top and a fleece back. The bottom is a knit top and a fleece back. This next one is the Versatile round pattern. We have the knit top once again, and the back is PUL. And finishing up our heavy pads, we have the knit top yet again. It is the Amy Nick's pattern in the longer size, and it has a fleece back. Here I'm demonstrating the way that I prefer for my pads to snap. I like for the right wing to fold under my underwear, and then the left wing folds on top of that so that the outie snaps into the innie. That's just how I prefer my pads. And I wasn't paying attention when I put the snaps on these two pads, so they are snapped backwards for what I prefer. It's not going to affect anything. It's just how I like my pads to snap. I'm demonstrating here where the stepped core ends. It has a stepped core all the way across the top and then tapers down to about there. And this one is a heavy absorbency pad. Again, it's not going to affect anything. You can wear them whichever way you need to wear them. It's just how I prefer for my pads to be snapped. The next one is a super absorbency, and again, it's technically, for my preferences, snapped backwards. They are both the Versatile Contour Wide pattern. I believe that this one is the longest shape that Versatile has in that pattern. And it again has the stepped core going all the way across the top, and then it kind of tapers down into the middle of the pad. Most of the heavy pads do have a stepped core in them. The stepped core in those are more or less in the center, so that there is a little bit more absorbency throughout the middle of the pad, leaving the outside edges of the pad a little bit thinner, so that if she chooses to wear them out, they'll be a little bit less bulky for her. Most of my moderates do range towards the heavier side. They're not anything that's going to be bled through in 2 or 3 hours, even though that is recommended that you change it that frequently. If, for instance, there is a gush or something like that, it should be taken care of relatively easily. That's also kind of the reason why I picked so many different kinds of toppers and backers, so she can kind of see how different things absorb and how different things work for her body. She is due towards the fall time of the year, and while I love a velvet topped pad, a lot of people don't like them because they're thick and they can be warm. I didn't want to give her something that was going to maybe be too warm down there, especially when, you know, you're freshly postpartum and you kind of want to be a little bit more comfortable than you might want to be on just your period. Because I wanted to be able to get these out to her relatively quickly, I did use mostly fabrics that I had on hand, so unfortunately I didn't have a huge variety of fabrics to use, but it was really nice to get to use some of my smaller pieces of fabric and smaller scraps that I had for cores. I will likely add in some interlabial pads as well. I will say that it is no small feat to try and put together a stash for someone who hasn't used cloth pads, and especially for, you know, a very niche kind of use, trying to figure out and do the research into what might be the most helpful different fabrics or fabric combinations that may be the best. I do have everything written down about like what the cores are, how the cores were constructed, what the pads are made out of, so that if she likes or dislikes something, then we can remake them or make her some more. But the goal was to hopefully get a more or less complete pad stash for her to be able to kind of start from zero and go from there. All of the cores of these pads were made out of flannel, terry, or super heavy organic bamboo fleece, or a combination of all of those things. I didn't go into all of that in this video because I thought that it might make it too long, and as you can see, I lost the audio, so I had to do a voiceover anyway. That being said though, if you have any questions or if you would like me to dive into that, I would be more than happy to make a second video going through what I put in them and kind of my thought process and the things that I researched, I would be more than happy to expand on that. But I would also love, if you are someone who has used cloth pads for postpartum, to put in the comments and let us know what you liked, what you didn't like, fabrics that you enjoyed, places that you bought pads from, and kind of add to the conversation so that people can see like tried and true reviews of people who have used these pads for what they were needed for versus, I'm just basing what I think she will need and what I think is a good idea, and I would love to hear your lived experience about this time and the cloth pads that you used. If you have any other questions, there's anything else you want me to expand on, anything that I could clarify, anything at all, go ahead and leave that in the comments below and I will get back to you. I really, really appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me today. I do apologize for having to do a voiceover and the quality of the video because of that. Hopefully my next video I will have figured out how to not have audio issues. I really appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me today, and I hope that you have a great week.